Well, friends, about 6 months ago, we released our Claiming the Moral High Ground video, which featured 19 people speaking about the need to change our drug laws. And one of the stars of that was a representative from the state of Washington. He heads up he's the chair, actually, of the House's Public Safety Committee, the criminal justice group, if you will. And with that, I want to welcome back my good friend, Roger Goodman. Hello, Roger.
Good to be back with you, Dean.
Roger, Oregon has, I put forward this idea that drug reformers should Oregonize, to parallel the course that Portugal has set. And you guys are going to follow on that same path here soon, are you not?
We may be the very first state to enact full-scale decriminalization of drug possession through the legislature.
Yes, sir.
And a bill has been introduced, and in my capacity as chair of the committee, I'm holding a hearing on the bill very soon, and we are going to get testimony from literally around the world. The Portuguese drug czar and the chair of the Global Commission, experts from the Netherlands and Australia and the United Kingdom and Canada, Drug Policy Foundation of Canada, as well as our own local and national experts with clinical experience, lived experience with substance use disorder, and describing the trauma of criminal justice involvement and how counterproductive it is when people are suffering from a behavioral health disorder, and also the fact that the state, the police, the criminal justice system should basically leave people alone if they're introducing certain substances into their body and not harming anybody else. And the egregious racial disproportionality in the enforcement of our drug laws. By decriminalizing possession, we will go a long way to bringing justice back to the justice system.
Well, Roger, we had this mantra that was being shared around the country, defund the police. I don't much like the term defund the police, but they are finding in cities like New York where they have allowed citizens, or I should say doctors, knowledgeable medical people, to go out and contact certain situations that previously folks might have been arrested or had a fight or whatever, but they have been able to mitigate and to diminish the repercussions of those situations. America's starting to take a new look at criminal justice in many ways. Am I right?
Absolutely. It used to be a partisan matter, and I can tell you on my committee, not just the Democrats, but the Republicans too, are very receptive to this notion that the war on drugs has been a tragic failure, corrosive policy, terrible waste of resources. It's just been all bad, and that there are people who need help and there are people who need to be left alone. And so it's both a public health matter and a libertarian interest in protecting our liberties. I like chocolate cake, and I probably eat too much of it, but you're going to arrest me and punish me for that? It's probably not too good for me. But it's sort of that notion. But I think the key is that if we, and I don't like the defund the police meme either, I think that we need to invest in our communities. There is a role for the police, particularly in our urban society, where a lot of people just can't cope, and there's a lot of social dislocation and disorder. But we need to invest in housing, in education, in healthcare, in job opportunities, financial opportunities, particularly in communities of color. Structural racism has basically caused crime. And so that's the key. We can and should stop arresting and charging and prosecuting and incarcerating people for drug-related activity. But we can't leave people languishing in the streets. If people need help, we need to invest, particularly in healthcare and behavioral healthcare in particular. And that's what the proposal that we're considering would do. It would decriminalize the possession of amounts for personal use, but also make tens of millions of dollars of investments in our public health system, particularly, again, behavioral health, mental health, and substance use disorder treatment. And that's what we have to do. In Seattle, where I'm from, the prosecutors have decided not to charge drug possession cases or even dealing in small amounts because it's just a revolving door. It's not a useful way of using our limited resources. However, in Seattle, we have not made the investment in the therapeutic care that's necessary for a lot of people who are really suffering on the streets. And so the public doesn't necessarily have a lot of confidence where they see basically de facto decriminalization, but a lot of disorder in the streets and people are afraid, to go into the city. And I'm worried about Oregon too. I hope that they make the necessary investments. And we are committed here in Washington State to make those investments so that we're, again, not just decriminalizing for the sake of some principle, but taking care of some serious chronic social problems that we have.
I'm Dean Becker. I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it motivating. Now please like and share and subscribe if you want more content. Now to hear a longer interview with this week's video guest, I request that you visit our website. Links are in the description below. Now each year we produce hundreds of drug war related programs for a network of broadcast affiliates in the US and Canada. Now we also produce lots of content for YouTube as well. And you can access nearly 9,000 of our programs at drugtruth.net.